And good morning, Risk Raider fans.
Good
It's
morning, everybody.
Friday.
Friday, we made it. And Brent, how lucky is everybody that another Friday came around that they get to spend with the Risk Raiders?
I'm telling you, it's fantastic.
It is.
And
Merry Christmas again.
I know it's like Christmas all over again. Very exciting too. We've got a great guest today. I'm fired up. Man, I woke up this morning, I'm fired up. We've got a great guest and great show talking about careers and insurance, and it's all good today. I'm fired up.
Oh, I got to get rid of the whole thing. Oh, thank you. Welcome to Risk Raiders. And remember that Risk Raiders is two very old, seasoned insurance agents who, by the way, are not your agent, which means we cannot give you personal advice for anything. So everything you're going to learn today is going to be on the entertainment version or just wisdom. It's just pure wisdom. But don't call us for professional advice because we can't give you any. We don't know you. Call your own insurance agent, your attorney, or your accountant. Call your mechanic. I don't care who you call, but don't call us because we're just here to entertain you and teach you something. And today I get to do a special disclaimer because we're going to have a guest on from Texas Tech University, but you got to know Texas Tech University and the Risk Raiders are not associated in any way, shape, or form in a business consult. Brent and I are alumni, but that is it. So there is no relationship between Risk Raiders and Texas Tech. Well, maybe they'll change that someday. But anyway, I tell you what, I'm so excited about today because we're going to have a guest on today in just a second who leads the risk management department at Texas Tech, teaching these skullfuls of mush, as Rush Limbaugh would say. And remember, I was thinking about risk management and everybody's going to go, I don't want to sit at a desk. It's the most exciting job you can have.
It is.
It's everything you like. You like to game. You like to drink Diet Coke. Maybe you like a beer. You like to drive in a car, fly on an airplane. Every industry, everything you touch, there is a risk management position involved with all those companies that are trying to make the how. That's what I like about risk managers. They're not no people, they're the how people. How do we get that drink out? How do we make it safe? How do we put that game out there? How do we keep Shropshire from killing himself? And there's a lot of people who need to do that.
Well, yeah, it's how to keep things from going off the rails in so many ways. Make sure nobody gets hurt, make sure you don't put out unsafe products. I mean, the whole 9 yards. There's just people out there watching out for safety and, good product. There's so many opportunities for it, and it's not boring. It's not just insurance guys like us.
If you're going to listen to this, and some people go, I'm going to work for an insurance company. No offense, insurance people, we're all in it too. But the reality is that risk management insurance is a part of it. But I'm going to tell you, these are industry. Anything you like to do, participate in, you like to go to concerts. They have risk managers setting all that. So you can be involved in so many interesting industries.
Yep, absolutely.
That you should pay attention today because we're going to bring on the guy who's leading the charge at Texas Tech Land to get people trained and ready to go into this industry. And this may be something that you want to start if you're a young person, or even if you haven't thought about risk management, you want to look into it. You need to talk to this person anyway, because you can start a career in risk management at any time.
Change careers.
Change careers. Get out there and have some fun. Be a how maker. That's what we're going to call it.
I'll tell you the other thing is these are good paying jobs. I mean, it's you get trained up and you'd be surprised. There's lots of opportunities and the pay is good. There's nothing wrong with it.
I didn't know anything about it, and I grew up in an industry of an insurance agency, and there is a difference between risk management and insurance. And I'm going to tell you what, I love the risk management part of my job.
Me too.
That's the thing that attracts me. I'm not a silly person. I don't want a patch on my sleeve and go out there. And I really care about helping people's businesses be safe. Brent feels the same way. But man, the risk manager gets to do all that, and they don't even have to just mess with the insurance. It's so cool. I think I'm ready to talk about it.
In a perfect world, you don't need policies. You need risk management, transfer the risk.
Because why? The answer is not always an insurance policy, and sometimes you can't get one. That's just being honest about it, right?
A lot of times you can't get one.
And y'all know who you are. You know you can't get it because you know what you're doing.
Right. All right. What do you think? We ready?
Let's bring him on, ladies and gentlemen.
Right. Here we go. Good morning, Rick.
Morning.
Hey, Rick.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, thank you. That I had all my promotional
Yeah, you got all the gear on.
stuff.
We need some of that gear. Do you have like a risk management school, like hats or something? I mean, we probably need to trade some
I have a
gear, some
pullover. I have
swag.
a pullover. I'll get you a pullover.
There we go. We need some co-branding there, and
Yeah,
then
I
Texas Tech
love
will
a
come right
co-branded.
after us.
Yeah.
Then their risk management department will be calling us. We'll have them on the show. We'll have them on the show.
Well, good morning. Glad to have you. We're excited about having you on, and we're
I'm
talking about
delighted to
risk
be with
management
y'all.
careers, and
I'm
you're
honored
the
to be
perfect
invited.
person.
Yeah, Rick, we were just talking about the scope and broadness of what risk manager jobs are out there. We were kind of talking about how every industry, any interest you have, whether you're eating, drinking, playing, every career, every one of those businesses has risk management people involved in it. And how today we're hoping that when you're listening to this and the things that Texas Tech is doing and educating and growing these folks to come into this career, that to be not narrow minded, that we're not just insurance companies, insurance agencies, which are very important. But man, I'm jacked up because I was thinking, who all could I have worked for
I know,
instead of
right?
doing this, right?
Well, and what I also preach to the students is that no matter what role they have in their career, even if it's not in the industry or specifically risk management or insurance, the risk management expertise is going to come in handy, whether they're a team leader, a division leader, a C-suite person, a CFO, a controller. The expertise that they're able to garner through some exposure to risk management and insurance principles going to make them stand out and be a more valuable employee.
I 100% agree with that. It's just something you carry along as a skill set and an arrow in your quiver that's really valuable to any organization that you're in. Let me give a little brief introduction. Rick is the director of corporate risk management and insurance at Texas Tech University, and I've known Rick, gosh, for a fairly long time. I mean, he's been all over the place. You were at IIT for a long time, and I know you're with Frost and some different places, and you've got a lot of great background that probably translates really well into to this role that you're in now.
Yeah, I'll give you a quick overview. I was really born into insurance, third generation family agency, 1995 in Arlington. So we lasted almost 100 years because I merged my agency after I took it over from dad in 1995 with Mike Delabeno and his agency in Fort Worth. And there's a lot of background to that, but it was hailstorms and work comp upside down system, et cetera. I had to get bigger faster. And so didn't quite make it 100 years as Bondurant Brothers Insurance Agency in Arlington, but merged with Mike, which he was another third generation family agency. And then in 2001, Frost approached us. They were trying to set up their insurance division and distribution system and approached us about acquiring us, made us an offer that in those days we thought we couldn't refuse.
I didn't know what you didn't
Had we
know.
known what multiples would go, it might change it. But we decided to do the deal with Frost. I stayed there for a 3-year earnout. So I had experience with a small family agency, merger. We acquired a few agencies in between that and Frost, and then being acquired by not only a bank-owned agency, but a publicly held entity. So a lot of interesting dimensions there with respect to the business. And after the earnout, I was invited to join the Independent Insurance Agents of Texas in Austin, and reluctantly left Frost to go be able to serve the industry. Always had a passion for just what we do and the people that do it. So went to work, started a management resources service for the association. We did a lot of good things with tools and resources online, and the matchmaker merger and acquisition service. Assisted over 100 small agencies
Wow.
get through mergers and acquisitions. So really fun ride. And then Frost asked me to come back in a statewide commercial practice role, and I reluctantly left the association to go back to Frost for a couple of years. And then IAT asked me to come back after 2 years to IAT with the idea that I would be the successor to David Vandelender upon his retirement, until an unusually smart, visionary named Mara Peters came on the scene and swiped that job right from under me. And after I met her, I was like, well, I would have hired her instead of me too. So she's been so incredible with this association, and we had a ball together from 2012 to 2017 when got a call from Pat Frost about coming back to Frost again.
Wow, I didn't know you had seesawed that many times.
My
That's
God, I had
interesting.
commitment issues between Frost and I. I came back to Frost and as a market president for Austin and a statewide PNC lead, which was too cool a job and opportunity to turn down, and knew I would retire at Frost, and technically I did because I stayed at Frost until uh, last April when I retired, when the opportunity to do this came up.
It's
It's a
awesome.
great
Cool.
way to capstone a career in this business.
Well, you have seen a lot and you have been able to participate in a lot, which I think is what's fantastic for Texas Tech to be able to have you come in and establish, because this is a new program, as we were talking about yesterday in the show, and I'll let Rick go into it. But actually, I believe the program really started last fall were the first classes, so
Yep.
we're getting in
One
on
class
this.
under us. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're here at the beginning, and that's why Risk Graders wanted to have you on. One, because we're proud alumni, but two, I really feel like what you're doing and the service and the opportunity you're bringing to the students out there is a big deal. So I guess one of the things that's why we were talking about before we brought you in, we're trying to let people know kind of what is risk management. When you're talking to these kids, there's not, I know in the high schools where my son has been and all these things, there's not a lot of talk about business, risk management, insurance, and all that stuff. How do you start talking to these kids on the college side to start introducing them to this industry that they may know very little, if not hardly anything about?
First of all, it might be appropriate to insert here now. When I was first approached, not about the job opportunity, but when the late great Bill Henry, he was the man behind inspiring the start of this thing, had suggested that the dean at Tech and their development people come to see me among other people to just get some. They were trying to get the thing off the ground and some interest, and really wanted to get the university, particularly the finance department, behind it. And I remember they came to see me and they said, we're looking at starting an insurance program at Texas Tech. My first words out of my mouth were, well, my first suggestion, and don't call it the insurance program.
Yeah.
You're not going to get any kids
The
interested in
kiss
the
of death.
insurance program. I said, let's call it risk management and insurance program. And it's because I'm not trying to do a bait and switch with these students, but what we do particularly now is we're risk management advisors. Insurance is the risk financing arm, very significant arm of risk management. But so you're right. I do lead and talk to these kids about risk management, and it's easy. It's an easy sell because they're aware of risk, and you can bring up so many evolving risk challenges in our world. And that what we do, risk management professionals, whether we're in the insurance industry part of it or on the corporate side of it, is we help individuals, families, organizations navigate risk. And so it's really easy. It's really easy to tell them it's going to be intellectually challenging. It's going to be financially rewarding. It's going to be a stable, sustainable career because there'll always be risk. And I always finish with it. It's emotionally rewarding because my value proposition, my personal mission statement as it applies to what we do is, at the end of the day, if we do our work really well, we protect individuals, families, and organizations' ability to realize their aspirations. And it's easy to make an emotional connection to what we do. I always say it's not quite Mother Teresa, but it's pretty significant. And then as you all know, there's a million stories you can bring into it that affirm what we do. So,
We do our job really well, nothing happens. And so you don't really know. But like you said, it allows organizations to be successful because bad things don't happen.
and and so the program leads with really the risk management principles. And then we delve into the insurance, the risk financing, including alternative risk financing. But it leads with a risk management orientation approach because that's the way it should be. When I
Yes.
first came into the business, we were very much policy peddlers, I think, more than anything else. And our job was to go out and identify the coverage they need, but go out and try to beat up the carriers and bring the better price to the client.
Right.
And it's evolved very quickly, even in early days, to being more about managing risk, being risk advisors.
Right.
And the most successful agencies and companies take that total risk management approach.
Now, I think
Yeah,
they
I
do.
100% agree.
And I think it's an exciting career, and that's the thing that I'd want anybody watching, listening. It's not just sitting at your desk and peddling paper. I mean, you get highly involved in. We were talking about it before, Rick. We were using the word. It's the how industry. You know, people come to risk managers to figure out how we do things. How do we do things to make them safe? How do we make it better? How do we do that? So it's this intricate involvement in the process of a business of getting what they do out to the public safely, affordably, all these good things, but you're involved in so many areas. I know, Brent, when we go out and do risk management stuff and work with our clients and stuff, I mean, you walk away just kind of blown away by seeing how things get done and the excitement and the part that you play in it. And that's why I'd say, hey, you guys who want a business career and you're looking at a finance career, something like that, you've got to look at this, because if you've got energy and you like creativity and you want to have, boy, like you said, there's some great paying jobs out there. Rick, how much they pay these kids now to come out there and do these jobs?
If you look at just median numbers, and really at any place in the industry, whether it's retail agencies, wholesale carriers, corporate side, entry level jobs are in the 65,000.
Wow.
Maybe more depending on where you are. Senior jobs are going to be in the 180 to the 250 range. And then, as we know, producers, very successful producers, can be in a million plus. I share that. I'm an advisor for the Finance Association, which gives me access to 600 finance student members. And when I promote the industry, I lead with statistics like that. And when I first do my first class, I talk about career paths and compensation, because they're surprised. They had no idea. And then I
Right.
spend the rest of the semester selling them and helping them understand what we really do, why it matters, and the impact. And it's very persuasive. When I graduated from Texas Tech with my little finance degree, the last thing I wanted to do was go in the insurance business. I had one class, and it was principles of insurance, and it was taught over the textbook that's been used for 40 years. No disrespect to it, but it was terribly boring. You talk about
Too
homeowners
dry.
policies and auto policies.
Yeah,
God.
And
man, it's
so I had
torture.
no interest, but the offers I had were like bank analyst jobs or Procter and Gamble. And my dad said, "Well, listen, till you decide what you want to do, why don't you come work for me for a while?" Figured I'd go to graduate school, which I ultimately did while I worked for him. But I was like, okay, I was still embarrassed to tell my friends I was in the insurance business. However, once I started working with Dad and understood what he really did and what he meant to his diverse client base,
Yeah.
which, one morning you might have to go see a client. We had a egg and dairy farm. That afternoon we might have to go see our bank client, and then deal with our musical instruments manufacturing company. And so I thought, wow, I'm getting very involved in all these different business models, and this is fantastic. So I still didn't want to say what I did, but I loved it, and then was able to make a great living at it.
Yeah, Brent refers to himself as a podcaster now. Brent's
Yeah.
like, I do a show, then just hand out that one card. Yeah, and there's insurance involved.
It's
Very
fascinating. It's like
glamorous,
you say,
very glamorous, Brent.
you get to go out and see what all these people are doing in their businesses, and they're showing you. Like I've got like machine shop clients that some of their robotics and things are just fascinating. And it's just you're out in the field a lot. It's not sitting behind a desk. You're not just pushing paper. You're out, meeting with people and seeing what they're doing and talking about issues they're having and how do we address them and things like that. And just being really helpful. And it's rewarding. It just
Well,
is.
It is, and I'm afraid, like, nationally, when they're anything with insurance, advertising with insurance, it's gotten so comical now to where it's like it's almost a joke of insurance. It's a comedy show when they're trying to promote insurance because no one wants to say insurance. I think if they actually promoted what actually we do and what the risk manager does and all those things, it's a much more exciting venue. You don't have to mask it with a bunch of color and a bunch of foo-foo. I know it's fun to watch, but in trueness, what it does is protecting people and
Right.
getting the products that everybody wants out to us. I mean, that's the cool thing about it. You're highly involved in how things happen. I love it
Well,
too.
it's become such a truly consultative, long-term relationship work, and whether you're on the agent side or you're involved with contributing those resources as a carrier. I mean, it's very consultative. Surveys that the industry do, the students say they don't think insurance is interesting, and that's because we've done a lousy job of really helping students understand it. I know we'll talk more about kind of the state of the program, but I started the first class, we had 7 students, and that's because, the course was still called they have to register in spring for fall for the most part.
Okay. Yeah.
So we had 7 students, this is before I got on campus and had an opportunity to start trying to promote it. We had 7 students, and, the course was Introduction to Insurance, you know,
Boy.
and so the students that were in there were made up of 2 of them were the twin children of the department chair, I think made them take it to
Yeah.
help this thing started.
They were being held hostage.
Yeah, they were hostages.
And, then there were several the others were either took it because they heard it was maybe an easier elective because it's not as, quantitative. There's a lot of finance courses, more qualitative. And then a couple of them had family members that were in the insurance business. None of them were intending to go into the risk
Right.
management or insurance
Right.
business. By the end of the semester, 5 of the 7 were actually pursuing opportunities or prepared and wanted to
Oh,
pursue
that's great.
opportunities in the business. So that's a testament to when they really understand what we do and what the career pathways are and the diversity of
Right.
your point. No matter what somebody's interest is, there's a place for them in this business, and there's a demand for them.
Yes.
Let's talk about that a little bit. What do you hear when the demand you have? I'm sure you're being approached. People are starting to hear, and hopefully they'll hear more after the show too about what's going on. But insurance carriers or businesses, when you look at when these folks are looking at the demand for the marketplace, what do you feel? Do you feel that this is a marketplace that's like it's full? We're pretty full. It's going to be very hard to get a job, or what do you feel is going on? To me, it feels like that this is something we have an aging population that's moving out of it. That's things that I hear. What do you hear about the industry's opportunities from people being able to like a gap there?
So, Bureau of Labor Statistics, I don't know if this was a 2023, a couple of years ago, was saying that there would be 1 million uh, people in the risk management and insurance industry retire by 2027. A
Oh,
million,
that's a
Oh my
lot.
gosh.
right? So
Yeah.
we keep hearing about the retirement cliff. It's here and it's happening for, 60% of the workforce will be retiring between now and 2030. So
Wow.
when you talk it's very easy to talk to students about the demand and the need, but it's more than just getting the job because of that retirement cliff. If you're a good worker, bright, and apply yourself, you can move forward in that career path very rapidly, more
Yeah,
rapid
quickly.
than any other industry because of the retirement cliff that's happening.
Ton of upward mobility.
Yes.
Well, and that's what I think a lot of young people, and of course anybody who might enter into the business, they want to know that it's just not get in. I'm just gonna, I'm very biased, but I just know that Texas Tech kids in the School of Business at Rawls, their reputation in the marketplace, whether they're accounting or whatever, they're go getters. I mean, it doesn't matter what the degree is. Texas Tech has the reputation. Their kids who come out are kids who want to work, and they're kids who want to grow. And I think that reputation is huge. I've heard that from a lot of people saying, gosh, we need to get people from all these colleges. They're all great programs and all that. But those tech kids, when they come out of the Rawls, And just like they're going to come out of this program, they're going to want to work and they're going to want to grow.
Right.
And
Not
I think,
afraid to get their hands
yeah,
dirty.
and I agree. I think that this should be one of the biggest filters going on at the School of Business right now from the standpoint of industry openness. We were talking yesterday, Rick, you might talk about, because everybody's going to go, well, I don't know if I want to get into it because AI is going to blow us up. There's not going to be any reason for me on AI. What would be your argument with that?
I get that question from students a lot. If we go down this career path, what's the AI impact look
Right.
forward? And the reality is, and there's a lot of literature on it, what AI is going to do is it's going to replace a lot of the menial tasks in the business, a lot of the repetitive tasks. It's going to replace a lot of time spent just data gathering,
Yes.
and it'll do all that for you. And so what it's going to leave is the more intellectually rich roles that require people to make sense of the data and the information that AI will gather and organize for you. But we will still need people to make sense of that, to be able to convey it in a way that the clients, the people that need risk management tools and advice understand. And because of the dynamic nature of risk, the ability to stay on top of that and move with the nuances and help organizations navigate it. So all the literature I look at says that the AI is not going to be a threat as far as opportunities in the industry, but it'll enrich the opportunities in the industry.
I think it's going to take a lot of the grind out of it. You know what I mean? Like you'll be able to do, like you said, the intellectually challenging things and helping people understand their exposure. And if you're in an organization like, hey, these are our black swan type of things that could happen to us, let's do something about it. And a lot of the things where you're trying to grind through paperwork and gather data, I think the AI is going to do a lot of that stuff as we go forward.
Well, the approach of the program at Texas Tech, and my approach, I embrace AI from the beginning. I think these students need to leave Rawls and Texas Tech knowing how to use those tools. And there's some academics, not just at Tech, but there are some academics that are concerned about AI. My syllabus that says we embrace AI, we encourage you to use it, and so it allows us to build a case study using AI, and it can do all, and so we get to spend time on what does that information mean, and what do you do with
Right.
it, and how can you use it to help an organization get where they want to get. And that's fun. That's let me tell you, somebody had to start this curriculum from scratch. Wonderful. Oh, to me.
Got it up in 10 minutes. Here
I
we
will
go. We
tell
got the
you.
syllabus.
Exactly.
I will tell you though, and I think anybody that's using AI will tell you
I
this:
know.
garbage in is garbage out. That hadn't
I
changed.
know.
You got to know what questions to ask, and then how to validate and interpret what's coming back.
That's a good point. But that's the thing I like about the kind of the future of the industry, is it kind of used to narrow it down to kind of the more the introverted, it's studious, which there's going to be a part of that. But the communication side of things for the people who like to, and the people who can communicate the data, who can communicate what they find and can openly find a way to put that in a term where a CFO or somebody on the line or somebody in marketing, where you can understand how it all comes together. For those people who like that sort of stuff, that piecemealing, but being able to share and communicate, I think you're going to start seeing risk managers more in that role, needed for that role. If a lot of the mundane stuff, of course, you got to have people doing the back end paperwork, but I think it opens the door for people with some of those additional skills that might not have thought about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it sounds awesome. So what all are you, so right now, where exactly is the program, Rick? And kind of what are they learning right now in those classes? You touched on them a little bit, but kind of what are they going to do if they want to go down here and is it a certificate? Is that what you're calling it?
Yeah, it's a certificate. At Rawls Business, they don't do minors. So they in 2019 they initiated a sort of a certificate emphasis in lieu of minors. So a certificate is really 12 hours of subject matter or 9 hours in an internship. And it started out with the banking certificate. because there was a big need for community banking in Texas. We really had hiring gap. So it started out and I use this story because I think it's instructive as to managing expectations. Banking program started with 2 students. And the guy that leads it, Mike Molden, who's a legendary banker here in the Panhandle, he uh, he likes to say it started out with 2 students and one of them dropped out right away. Well,
It's a weed
well,
out class.
well,
Yeah.
it's now got 300 students in the program,
Wow.
Wow. It's great reputation too.
and it has a tremendous reputation, and I think that serves as a model for us. So we started out with 7 students in the first class. Now that I'm able to be here promoting it, there's some seniors that have chosen to take the class this semester. By the way, I've got 16 in the program now,
Excellent.
moving in the right direction. But the seniors and upper level juniors are often well on their way to either the banking certificate or the real estate or the investment certificate, and so they may take the course, and I can still turn them to the industry and I can get them placed in the industry, but they may not be able to get their certificate or take the courses, and I'll explain the courses here in a minute. And then freshmen and sophomores who I've been talking it up to, they've got to get some basics, finance basics out of the way before they can take it, because it's a 3336 is the first course. The second course is a 4 series course. So it's junior and senior
Okay.
level courses. And so we've got a little small pool to be able to award the certificate to. But I've got, dozens of students that I've had one-on-one conversations that followed up from maybe a presentation I made, come to my office that I want to learn more about this program, that are intending to pursue the program. So, because of the things we've talked about, once they understand the opportunities and once they understand what we really do, why it matters, it's an easy sell. And I think
Yeah.
that could really go to grow the program.
So a kid he'll have like a finance degree when he graduates with this insurance certificate, like she says, like a
Right.
minor.
Right. And so there's 2 required courses, and that's principles of risk management and insurance. And then the second required course is corporate risk management. And the principles is very much detail into the risk management process, the steps in risk management, and the entire semester is introduction to risk management. We go through risk identification, we can go through risk analysis, et cetera. All very practical, case-based studies. Used the National Alliance, which is now the Insurance and Education
Right.
Yeah.
organization.
Yeah.
They provide free materials for me. IRMI is a great supporter of the program,
Oh,
provides
bet.
access to their library for our students, and I teach out of those because I don't want to go the dry textbook route. I want it to be very much based in reality and
Yeah.
practice. So those are 2 required courses, and then they have to choose 2 of 3 that include risk financing, which gets deeper into just the risk financing, including not only pure risk, but speculative risk and getting into derivatives and things like that.
Wow.
Or they can take current topics in risk management and insurance, which allows us to sort of have a nice free for all for whatever the hot stuff
Yeah.
is.
Whatever going on.
Or they can take an internship. So that's what gets them the 12 hours. And I'm right up front with everybody that I talk to this program about with. I'm a mile wide and an inch deep. We don't get granular. I don't want to lose them. And I've only got so much time with them. My goal is by the time they've had a semester of exposure at any level of these courses, to be passionate and want to be in this industry, and then have some contextual understanding of what are the roles, what are the pieces, what do we actually do, how do we do it, and we'll get into understanding contractual construction of insurance. We'll get into some of those things. But I want, if I do nothing else, I want people that have a strong business degree from Rawls to want to get in the business and then connect them to opportunities in the industry. If I do that, any employer in this industry can take it from there. But think about it, if you're an employer and you've already got a kid that understands what these roles are, how it works, and what we do, and is passionate about being in that industry, that's a much better hire, and you're going to retain that person. It's not as chancy because they already know what they're getting into and they want to be there. That's a big plus.
That's huge.
Yeah, I think it's great. Tell us a little bit about those internships. So I know that's become a huge thing at Rawls as in general with all the degrees, but how is that? Because everybody's talking about entering into the workflow. How am I going to enter into the workflow? Kind of how do you set up the internships? And is that an area where our listeners or people need to help out on some of those things? Kind of what do you have set up?
Well, absolutely. So Rawls is, since I've come here, I've been so impressed by how well Rawls gets students engaged in industry. So they want to drive kids into one of these certificate programs. They call it the BRIC: banking, real estate, investment, and we're the corporate risk management and insurance. That's the C. And they want students to pursue a certificate. And as they pursue that certificate, do our little association groups, the whole semester, we're having engagement opportunities. I have speakers come into the class. I have speakers come into the Student Finance Association. We take a group of students every semester on an industry trip where we visit. Last
That's
last
super cool.
last fall, we visited Keurig Dr. Pepper, and including their risk management people. We visited Higginbotham, who's a great supporter of the program, and we visited Markel, who's a great supporter of the program. Knocked it out of the ballpark as far as
Love
really
that.
explaining, the dimensions of the industry. So, so it's that industry engagement while they're doing their studies all along, starting from freshmen. They're trying to get freshmen involved in the finance association and the certificate path as fast as they can. And they want them to take multiple certificates if they're willing to. And then the whole time they're here, there are so many opportunities for engagement. And that's where the audience, whether you're carrier, your corporate risk management, your retail, wholesale broker, can help, because to help support and provide opportunities for engagement. So the internships, all anybody has to do is let me know that they'd love to entertain an intern. And I've had a lot of calls as the word's gotten out. Talked to an agency out in Southeast Texas just recently. Said, look, we're interested in having hiring people out of Rawls and people that have been exposed to the program. And I say exposed because I'm telling you, whether I have a student that goes all the way through and gets a certificate, or it's a senior and it's taking it as the last course because
Right.
they had to get one out of the way. And I don't hesitate to say, my course is not heavily quantitative rigorous like a lot of these finance courses are. They're going to enjoy it and have fun. And
Right.
it's not going to be hard to make a good grade if they just participate and get involved. And so if I have a senior, and I've had seniors take the course, and all of a sudden they were going to go this direction for real estate or banking. Now they want to talk to people in our industry, and I can connect them and get them hired. So letting me know, Rawls has a huge career day every fall and spring. I'm telling you, I don't know. I'm sure you've been to some of the Big I annual conferences, and we've got a lot of exhibitors and stuff. Rawls dwarfs any other industry exhibitor. It's huge. They have in the convention center. There's people from the industry that have booths, and I drive people to those booths. So getting involved in actually recruiting on campus and connecting with
Great.
the career management center is a great way. Just reaching out to me and saying we're interested in supporting or connecting. I do an exercise, a case study where I connect student to somebody in the industry to do maybe a risk identification case study where the agent, and I'd love to have you two do it, where you pose as one of your clients. You don't have to provide the real name or anything, and they're reaching out and they're using some Army, risk identification surveys and going through it as if, excuse me, Jeff, you're maybe that machine shop, and they're asking you
Like
questions.
that.
And you're answering as if you are the machine shop because you know the
Yeah,
risk
that'd be
is yeah.
great.
And that
I'm
gives them
in.
Yeah, I like
great
that.
real life and interaction with the industry.
I would think after the word gets out, people would really be fighting over these kids. I mean, because, you get somebody that's got a finance degree and then you add this twist to it and they've got this risk management skill set now. That's huge. I mean, I would think as an employer, you'd be like, yeah, get that kid.
I would hope so. And the school's so behind this, and Bill Henry was able to get them behind it. First of all, because if you know Bill Henry, you know Bill Henry's influential and
Right.
legend in the industry and passionate about this industry. But all he had to do was talk about the opportunities in the job talent gap we have. It was really fits right into what Texas Tech's all about, getting these kids good jobs when they get out of school.
As they should be.
And we're
They're
the place
serious
to
about
be.
it. And I'll tell
Yeah.
you, anybody who's out there in the industry or a corporation who's listening to this, you need to wake up, because this is going to be one of the best pipelines, if not the best pipeline. Again, I am going to be a little slanted here for these young folks coming out. I mean, you're going to be, and just knowing what Rick does and how he does it and what these kids are going to come out with, you're going to do a great job filling a lot of these gaps. And I can't wait for the next few years to see a lot of red and black on walls when I walk in and talk to them, and we do that little winky, and they're going to be excelling, and I'll be kissing their boots and seeing if they'll write any insurance
Yeah,
for
right.
me, or we'll run into them as a risk manager. So one other question I had on that. So we had talked, but I know we want you, if you're in the Rawls and all that, but is your class one that you can take as well too? Like if you're in the ag industry or you're going through like maybe the ag finance program, can you pop over and can you get a certificate or at least take some of these classes? I
Yeah,
don't
you
know if
can
they have room for that.
take the classes. I'm working with the powers that be to facilitate the ability to these other schools to participate. I went and spoke to they have a really strong personal financial management program. It's in the Health and Human Services School, though, of all things.
Oh,
Well,
And I
interesting.
went
uh,
over as a guest speaker, invited to speak, and I had several of those kids after I presented come to me and say, "Can we get their certificate?" They were interested. We've got some hoops to jump through because of some of the prerequisites. They can't take the course, and there's a way to be able to take the course as an elective. I've got an appointment to go speak to the ag folks in a couple weeks so that I can talk about what we're doing, because I think when you look at Texas Tech, the petroleum school, the
yeah.
ag school, I mean, think about it. If I get a kid that's got an ag degree that's suddenly now interested in risk management and insurance, and you think of all the carriers and agencies that specialize in ag, what better hire than to have somebody who understands agriculture to now get into the business, and now they understand some principles of risk management and insurance. I'd like to replicate that with petroleum school. One of the things, the challenges is going to be bandwidth. There's only me. I am a department of one. I am the professor of practice, and I'm the director of the program. And we're trying to build a war chest. We want money. We've got some great founding partners, but we want to build we're at about almost between $3 and $4 million. We want to get to 10 million so it's endowed perpetually. School can't ever
Makes
do
sense.
anything with it once it gets to 10 million.
Cool.
But also, as we grow this thing, I want to expand the depth with it a little bit and be able to add classes that maybe dig a little deeper into particular areas. Right now, again, if I can just get students that say, okay, now I see what this thing is, I want to be in it. That's a huge step, but I'd still like to round out the program. I want to add a personal selling. There's some personal selling professors here in Rawls, and we want to be able to include those courses. So we got a ways to go, but it's off to a great start. And I've got I think already a pipeline of students that want to take it, and I would love nothing more than have way more demand than I have supply, so I get these kids placed.
Yeah, I
Well, it'd be
agree.
cool if you could like get these kids from other like how cool would it be for a kid get an engineering degree or an architecture degree, or like you
Construction
said, the
Tech's got a huge
petroleum with,
construction
man,
management program,
yeah.
and be
I
able to
mean,
get the
those guys need
certificate
we
to have
need
these
it. I
courses.
mean, I'm sorry. They need it. And it's good stuff, and it would be an addition, a worthwhile addition to almost any degree plan.
Well, I think we need to kind of get people going then. So let's just say this. So if we've got maybe a high school senior, you got a freshman or a sophomore, and they listen to this or they've heard you, what step do they need to take, Rick? What would you tell them right now? What do you guys need to do today to start looking into this thing?
Well, they can certainly reach out to me, Rick.Bondurant at ttu.edu, but they can reach out to career management and say, hey, I've heard they all know about this program. They're helping to facilitate the employer network. So the career management, if they got any connection at tech, they can reach out. But I think for now, just reaching out to me, and I'll have to manage that bandwidth. A lot of growing the advisory board of founding sponsors, we can connect those people with them to tell them a little bit more about it. So, but that's a great question. I would have them reach out to me. I'd love to have a whole backlog of emails or calls to get back to you on.
Yeah, no kidding.
I think it's great. And I think that if you're any of the listeners out there, you've got kids in school, high schoolers, whatever, you need to get this information to those counselors. You need to get this information out there when they're talking about selecting jobs for people, and these kids they're putting them on these courses and these programs in high school now, and pathways. Is that what they're calling them? I don't know. I don't pay that much attention. Sam's almost out, so I'm almost done. Man, they need to know about this stuff. I'm going to make it a point to me to preach it to the choir to the people that I talk to, and I hope our listeners do well too, because this is just a phenomenal program, and I think it's an excellent opportunity. And Rick, just as an alumni and somebody in the industry, I like to just thank you.
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
because-
I'm proud of it.
I'm
take-
blessed to have this opportunity. Trust me.
Man, to take this on, and it's a big deal, and it's a lot of work. And we in the industry, I'm here to support you. I know Brent, Risk Graders, is here, and hopefully people here, you'll get more support behind you and help. Throw some money at this thing, throw some time, get some internships. Let's get this thing rocking. It's going to be good for the industry and for corporations as a whole.
And the good news is, if you just get them to Rawls Business School, they're going to hear about it, because I got my promoters, student promoters. I got cheerleaders growing now that are excited about it, and they want to help promote it to the Finance Association. So they'll hear about it. We just get them to Texas Tech, Rawls Business School, which is a phenomenal school. They're gonna be exposed to it. I'll get them in there.
Well,
That's exciting.
that's exciting. Well, listen, we appreciate you being on today, and we just, as Risk Grader, we'll do anything we can to help you. We would hope that we have you on throughout the year to give us updates, and as you grow,
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
or what you need at certain times,
That'd
you
be great.
contact us anytime, and we'd be glad to have you on. But thank you so much for being on. I'm so excited. This has been a great
Oh,
day.
me too.
I
Thanks
love
for
it.
having me. I'm a big Risk Grader fan. So I did want to say, just as a disclaimer, that in your previous episodes, when you talk about the Slick Rick as that insurance guy, that's not me. You're not.
That's not you.
No, what if that was? That was AI, and that's why you can't believe that crap all the time that AI throws at.
Yeah, it's invasive, isn't it? You just never know.
Yeah,
You never know where it's going to go.
you never know. This good thing is nothing like that rhymes with Jeff. So there we go.
Yeah, that's cool.
All right,
Thank
Rick.
y'all
Thank
for having me. Very much appreciate it.
you
Yeah,
for being
thank
on. It's
you.
great to see you. We'll talk to you soon.
Hey, take
All right.
care.
Appreciate it, brother.
Okay.
Take care.
Wreck 'em.
Yeah, wreck 'em.
Wreck 'em.
For any young person or anybody wanting to start a new career, I'm going to tell you, if this is not on your radar, you've really got you at least need to call Rick or contact the Rawls School of Business at Tech, because you really need to explore this. Because when people are looking for long-term careers, long-term skills, industries you can't imagine, endlessly places to work, I mean, this is the thing that you have got to at least explore. I think it's just excellent. And I'm kudos to Texas Tech for bringing that to the forefront.
Me too. I'm excited that they recognized it and put it. And Bill Henry gets the credit, for being the impetus behind it. And it's just cool. I mean, I'm so excited that they've got a program now.
I am too, because it's gonna be as good as the sports teams.
Yeah,
I
who are
transitioned
on
that baby
fire.
right there.
I wish I had that. I wish I had that graphic. Somebody sent me something yesterday that showed where all of our programs were currently ranked, and man, we are on fire
Oh, that's a shocker.
across everything. Women's basketball, checkers, rodeo, the whole thing.
I like the
Meat
jousting.
judging.
I like the jousting team we're getting
You got
together.
a jousting team, the whole thing.
If you can make it all 4 years, then I mean, you get the medal. If you survive jousting,
Yeah.
I love all that. Yeah, the checkers, all that. There's I've gotten hooked on Mexican train domino game, and I think that that's about to become an Olympic sport.
Yeah, no doubt about it. No
I
doubt
know it's
about it.
like pickleball champions and just smacking down there. I love it. Texas Tech is rocking on all cylinders. We're so proud to be alumni with them. Basketball comes up on February the 2nd as our next home game. I'm ready to get out there.
Who
and
is
start,
it? I can't even remember who's
don't
coming up.
know.
Is
I was
Iowa
pulling it
something
up,
like
but you know what? I got to tell you, when Rick was on today, I was so excited about that. I couldn't think about anything else. We're
I
playing
know.
Kansas. So look, we got some
Oh, that's
Kansas
right.
people. We got some friends up there. Sounds like, I think you still owe us some drinks from the
Yeah.
football game.
From
So
the
maybe we can,
football game
if we want
last
to add
year.
on to those drinks, because I just have a feeling there's going to be more drinks to be won by the Red Raiders. That's what I'm hoping for.
Exactly.
Don't want to be punchy, but it's true. Boom. That's how we go. And it has been a great show. And
I'm telling you this, I'm so excited about the program and promoting Rick, and I just think I'm
fired up, and we hope that you who have watched this, we're going to have some shorts put together with it. You need to watch this. You need to share this video with corporations, with colleges, with businesses, anybody in the industry. Let's get this thing growing. Let's get this thing happening. Ask questions, do whatever, get it to young people. These are great things for everybody to learn. We're happy to bring it to you here at Risk Raiders. Brett, you have anything else you need to add, buddy?
No, just have a great weekend, everybody, and we're gonna have links below to Rick's contact information, and get everybody to him, and everybody be safe and stay warm. It's gonna be 31 here again. People are gonna be freezing.
I don't want to talk about it, people.
I
Everybody
gotta
up
go get my
north
coat out.
yeah, you're going to get slammed. Listen, have a great weekend. Thank you for tuning in to Risk Raiders, and we will see you next week.
Yep,
Wreck
on
'em.
Friday. Wreck 'em, baby.